What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Another little quick review for you. This one was sent along with a couple other things from TRM as a little package. It's the first time a knife company ever sent me a knife. Pretty excited about it. I did an unboxing video of this a while back, but I kind of wanted to carry it for a little bit just to, experience it and kind of go over it and, make sure I get every little detail that I can think of about this thing. This is an awesome little knife. This is the TRM Neutron 2. This one's in Magna Cut. I believe they came out with the Neutron 2 and 20 CV also, I think. But the one they sent me is in Magna Cut. And go ahead and go through the specs and everything here. And just, to put it out there ahead of time. They sent me the knives, but I'm still not just going to do a favorable review just because they send me products for free. If, very small chances this is the case, but if there's another knife company or, anyone watching, I welcome products, of course, 100%. I'd love to check anything out that, that a knife maker or manufacturer would send me, of course. But definitely not going to affect the opinion of the review. I'm not going to give it a positive review just because they sent it to me for free. And I'm not going to give it an unfair review because they sent it to me for free either. So, got that out the way. Anyway, kind of like a disclaimer there. I don't have like a paper or anything like Shabazz does where he puts it up. But, yeah, they did send me this. So, just a full disclosure on that. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and pull measurement on this thing. TRM Neutron 2. Sitting right at 7 1/8. Get a good, right at just a hair under, maybe 7 1/16 overall. Blade length on this thing, you're looking right at 3 1/4 if you go all the way back to the handle here. And cutting edge on it, you're looking right at 3 inches, maybe a hair under 3 inches on the cut edge, pretty close there. So what I'd call like maybe a not a large size knife, but this and up. This to maybe, I don't know, 8.5 inch would be like my preferred carry. So that's what I call like an average, normal, large, large size knife, I guess. It's kind of right there on the border. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get the calibers out. See if I can stay focused here. Make sure those are zeroed out. All right, going to do the blade stock thickness. All right, thickest part of the spine coming in at 90 thousandths, 89 thousandths. Make sure I get that. 88 thousandths. So right around 88 thousandths. That's pretty thin. And behind the edge, this is a full flat grind. We're going to go right there. Looking at 18 thousandths there. And we'll check one more spot up here. Just checking where that edge bevel begins. So right around 20 thousandths right there. So not definitely not a thick knife, pretty thin. And in my experience with thickness on knives, this thing's pretty thin, pretty slicey. It's like a little laser beam pretty much. And we'll go ahead and do handle. This will tell you a lot here. Handle thickness. Now this is a pretty thin handle too, right? 337 thousandths on your handle thickness there. That's pretty thin compared to I don't know. We'll compare it to, let's see. I know I'm kind of doing things out of order here, but let's look at this is the Para 3 lightweight. And I'm going to do, size comparisons here in a second, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this out the way. Let's zero these things out again. All right, they're fully closed, zeroed out. Handle thickness on the Para 3 lightweight. This is not a thick handled knife either. 451 thousandths. So, that one is considerably thin, in the handle, I would say. Not bothersome at all. The handle feels pretty good. It doesn't like cut into you or anything like that whenever you're cutting with it. It's not uncomfortable. They contoured everything pretty good in my opinion. We'll go ahead and get the size comparisons out the way. That's the Para 3 lightweight actually. and here is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So more along the lines of the size of the Paramilitary 3, although it's shorter in overall length. The Para 3 has a shorter handle, right? Cutting edge on this guy, you got more cutting edge with a Neutron 2 than you do with a Para 3. Kind of right in between with cutting edge, but you know, it's pretty good blade ratios, I would say, especially since this has a full, you know, finger choil cut out in the front, so that's a good thing. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get a couple other ones out here. Got your Hogue Deca. Let me straighten this thing out. Trying to make sure it doesn't look any larger or any smaller than it does, because it kind of, you know, throws off the way that the camera is angled. But the Ritter Hogue's definitely bigger, RSK, MK1, and G10, and that's the Hogue Deca. So a lot, you know, right around the size of the Hogue Deca. Deca's got it beat with cutting edge. Definitely got it beat with blade length, but also has it beat with handle length there, right? So a little bit smaller than the Hogue Deca. Do one final size comparison. There's the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1, Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. So pretty close to the size of the Rat 2, I would say. Look at the cutting edge. It's got a right around the same cutting edge as the Rat 2. But again, overall, the Rat 2 is longer, more handle on the Rat 2. So they really utilize blade to handle pretty good on that, and you know, while also incorporating this forward choil that gets you really in there where you're cutting at. You know, you can choke up on it really comfortably, and you can get up pretty close to what you're cutting with it. So definitely a good little slicing knife. I'll get out the scale here. And this thing's super light. I'm gonna guess probably around, I don't know, two and a half to 3 ounces. 2.5. So yeah, it's pretty light, especially for the amount of cutting edge. You know, you got 3 1/4 on the blade and 3 inches on the cutting edge. So weighing 2.5 ounces is, you know, that's a definitely under the ounce and inch ratio that a lot of people prefer. You know, it's a pretty light little knife. It kind of disappears in the pocket. I like the clip that they have with it. No issues there at all. Well, one issue I'll show you in a second, but deep carry clip, to me, it looks good. Titanium clip. The only issue I have with it is the yeah, kind of snagged a little bit of string there off of the blue jeans pocket. But the only issue I have with it is these aren't flat headed or recessed. That would help. But also, whenever you're looking at it, it doesn't matter as much with this one, I don't think, because you got more room up here. You know, it's not closed. I don't have a Microtech would be the perfect example. I don't have a Microtech out right now, but you know, once you clear where it pinches against the handle right there, slides all the way up, no problem. And there is enough room kind of towards the top to where it won't necessarily, you know, snag on those screws, but it would be good if they were recessed. You know, that'd be a little bit of an improvement they could do on it right there. Put the blue jeans back up. We'll do a hardware check. Let's see. Weehaw bit driver here, and got everything rearranged over here. All right, this is a T6. I think the hardware is T6. I'm not sure on this. Yeah, it's T6. T6 on those 2 body screws. Clip screw T6. That body screw T6. You got it doesn't show from the side, you know, but if you look in here, you got 3 bolsters right there. Then the over travel stop pin, you know, up there. You have the 2 screws for the pocket clip, screw underneath the pocket clip after you take that off, which goes through to the other side right here, right? Oh no, that just screws in the liner. Yeah, that screws in the liner on that side. That screws in the liner on that side. Screw here, pivot, so you do have a pretty decent amount of hardware. Now looking at it, doesn't really look, it doesn't look like a bunch of hardware when you just look at it, but pretty, decent amount of hardware, and it's T6, so that's kind of a downside too. Wish that was all T8. That would be a lot better. It's a T8 here on the pivot, but it's a little wiggly, so what I'm going to do is, where's my T10 at? T10. Yeah. Let's try that out. Yeah, that's a T10, so that's good. T10 on the pivot, that's a good thing. Wish they would have went with T6 on the body screws or T8, I'm sorry, on the body screws and had a little more hardware, but if you're careful, you'll, take your time, careful, use plenty of pressure if you do disassemble this, scale swap, whatever, and, you'll be all right. Just apply plenty of pressure if you're using a T6 for sure. And, whenever you're tightening, don't over tighten it, because that's a T6 strips out really, really easy. So T10, you got nothing to worry about there. It's a captive pivot, so that's also good. You don't need a T10 here and a T10 here, right, to take it apart, because the pivot's captive. So when you loosen that, that part comes out. So that's a good thing. All right, so we got the hardware check out of the way. Let's see. I think we got all the specs out the way, right? I think we did. Unless y'all might be sitting there screaming at me like, what about it? Magneco on the blade. Three Rivers Manufacturing is a USA-made knife company. They do, from what I've seen, and this is the only experience I've had with them, right, is the Neutron 2. But from what I've seen and read and everything, they're an excellent company. Far, far underrated. Their stuff's, if you don't think they're a great company, or they make a great product, go look at their website on their shop, because most of their stuff is sold out, and whenever it drops, it sells out pretty quick. So, that's a good thing, right? I mean, it would be awesome if they increased production and were more readily available for people. But also, whenever you see that, they're sold out, that means that they're in demand. It means they're good, right? For the most of the time. So, believe Three Rivers started out, and I've read the whole thing, the whole story and everything, but I forgot most of it because it was a few weeks ago, whenever they sent this. But I believe they started as a titanium company with another name, or maybe the titanium company got into knife making and came out with Three Rivers for the name of the knife division or whatever. But that's kind of how they got their start anyway, was titanium. And they do make some really cool titanium. I would absolutely love to get the scale. They make lizard skin, I think, titanium, that's called, reptile skin, snake skin, something like that. Titanium scales for this thing also. Would absolutely love to get a pair of those. I might actually write Hilary over there at Three Rivers and ask her about it. And that's another thing, while I'm on the subject of it, they have excellent customer service. I mean, if you have an issue, you talk to them and they will respond, fairly quick. It takes a little bit to get a knife once they, whenever you order it, but I have no issues with that. And this one was free, right? So, I mean, I can't complain, or even, I can't even really give you any insight as to what it's like after, the process of waiting to buy one, right? I mean, once they said that the package was on the way, it was a few days and then I got it. So, no big deal there. But their customer service, from my experience, has been excellent. They do respond, and they're pretty courteous people. They were nice enough to let me have this, to show on my channel, and I'm not a big knife channel right now. I mean, I think I've got 800 and something subscribers. I'm not even 1,000 subscribers yet, and Three Rivers, sending me this was, I think really generous of them to, to be able to look at a $200+ knife, and these I think run right around 206 or 210 as of this time right now, whenever they are available. And I'm going to link them down below too, but I don't think they're available right now. Anyway, really appreciate them sending me this, to take a look at. So that aspect of TRM is excellent customer service. Now, one thing about the knife itself, I'm going on about the knife company, but one thing, back to actually reviewing the knife, is the liner. I have no issues with a liner lock at all. It's not an issue. It doesn't rub against your finger or anything like that. It is jimped a little bit. That helps for comfort, but I kind of wish the cutout, that little cutout right there, is pretty small, right? So that's your flush scale side, and this is the cutout, where you can push in and disengage the liner to close it. To me, that it would be good if that was cut out, like maybe a little bit more, not a huge deal or anything like that. You really don't have to, apply an extreme amount of downward pressure or anything like that. It's not like it's flush and you're trying to dig it out or anything, but, just to me, it would be better if that was cut out a little more than what it is. The thing's extremely compact, it is. Well, let me get the flashlight inside of this thing. I don't think there's any milling on it. If there is milling, it's minimal. Not sure if that's stainless or titanium liners, but they're very thin, and there's really no milling for weight reduction. It's definitely not needed. I mean, this thing's really super duper light. The balance, see, whenever you're looking at it, balance on this thing right about there. So right behind, when you're choked up, it's on your index or choke back, and whenever you're choked up, kind of right between your two fingers, that's a good balance point, I think. And the fact that when I like the cutout, the way that front choil is cut out, really great for choking up and doing a little detail work, getting in there, and it is super duper comfortable like that, for sure, 100%. Pretty locked up, locked in solid right there. This is probably my lower limit for carry on a knife. Tri-State is one person that prefers a smaller knife, and MC Metal Complex prefers a larger knife. I'm kind of right there in between, I guess. This is a good size for me, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not a, it's not a small knife by any means. The reverse flick, you can get on it. Kind of takes a second to figure it out on this one. But if you want to open, with reverse flick, put your middle finger right there, and you got to kind of push in and up, and you can reverse flick it. Of course, traditional, use the thumb studs as thumb studs. that works too. I really like the blade shape, the Three Rivers logo, not really any billboard there. So all you got on the blade itself is the Three Rivers manufacturing logo, and TRM USA Magna Cut in pretty small letters, they're not microscopic small or anything, but they're not like huge, and it's not all over here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's a good thing. Very little, billboarding on it. And even the logo itself does, look pretty cool. It fits in, and that's not etched, that's scratched out of the metal, right? So that's not like something that they painted on there or anything like that, So that's pretty cool. The thumb studs almost look like they were made for the O-rings that they sell as accessories to this. I got these in yesterday, and I haven't put them on yet, but I've seen Rob's Nerdy Knives has some, and a couple other people have them. So that's, dress up your Atom O-rings for the thumb stud. It's a Neutron, but I think it's the same size on the thumb studs there. So just going to take these out, and might try to go ahead and put them on. Should only take a second. So they give you a black one, a blue one, and a white one that comes with it. So yeah, that's on there. So that didn't take but a second. And I think it's the thumb studs kind of decorated a little bit, also make it a little more comfortable to flip open. So yeah, that's pretty good. I was worried that the thumb stud would kind of, or the O-ring would kind of want to fly off, but they seem like they're on there pretty tight. So the camera to focus there. Yeah, it's almost like these thumb studs were made for these O-rings, right? And they might be, you know. I mean, I think I paid $8 for them, which they probably realistically cost like, you know, 8 cents to make. But it is a good little catch there, you know, good little selling point for them if they did do that, you know, if they did make the shape of the thumb studs for the O-rings and it wasn't like an afterthought. So let's see. Yeah, I can still get the reverse flick on it with that O-ring on the back. The thing I was more worried about with the O-rings is they would fly off, you know. I don't really like to have, I really don't like lanyards that much on my knives, you know. So kind of loose, hangy things I'm not really a big fan of. So let's see. Get my thumbnail under there and flip it. No, it's not coming off. So that's good. But anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. The G10, I don't think I talked about it too much. I really like the G10. It's smooth, pretty minimal little pattern, you know, almost comparable to, I'd say, like the 8010's G10, if you've ever experienced that. You know, this is slate gray, I think they call it. But yeah, it's pretty smooth. It's not too gritty, not too grippy at all, and it is just grippy enough, in my opinion. This is, you know, pretty perfect G10. And it's contoured also, you know, it's not rigid, nothing like that, nothing sharp going on in there. So pretty good on that. Overall, this is a great knife. I'm gonna put this in my most recommended knives playlist, you know, for sure. Definitely a good knife. And it does have a couple downfalls whenever you're looking at it. You know, if they could have cut this out more, it would have been good. T8 on the body screws would be awesome. You know, that would be very helpful. And kind of recess these or flatten them out on the clip there, you know. But overall, the good on this thing definitely overrides the bad. It's a great little knife. Extremely laser beam little slicer for sure. 100% on that. Definitely a good little slicer. I might do a cut test with it later on down the road. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Might also get those titanium scales. I might ask TRM if they would send them to me. I don't know if they would or not. You know, I mean, they already sent me the knife and other stuff that I'm going to be giving away when I have my 1K giveaway. I'm going to give away like notebook and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm going to see if I'll ask them if maybe they could send those along. That'd be awesome, you know, and I'll make a scale swap video with it and all that stuff. But TRM, go check them out. I'll have them linked down below. Three Rivers Manufacturing, all USA made knife. That is the Neutron 2 in MagnaCut. So I appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, have a good evening, morning, night, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you on the next one.